What's up, y'all? Empress Ari here, back at you once again in another video. I hope all is well with you today. In this video, let's discuss how many other people would have been in a mental institution had they gone through many of the things you have been through. You are probably someone who has been through many hard life situations. And the hard things that you have made it through, other people wouldn't have been able to make it. They wouldn't have been able to handle it. For many other people, they would have either been in a psych ward or they would have went ahead to the upper room or down there with the devil, whatever their fate is. But my point is, they wouldn't have made it successfully. They wouldn't have been able to conquer these things. You may have gone through certain things and you may have been wondering, like, why me? Why do I have to go through this stuff? But as I posted on my community tab the other day, God gives his toughest battles to his strongest soldiers. And you are one of his strongest soldiers. You are built different. You have the type of strength and tenacity that other people aren't equipped with. Other people will never have the type of strength you have. When you get through certain things successfully, you might not even realize the level and the amount of strength you are using and displaying while you are getting yourself through these things. You have been through things and gotten yourself through things, not only because of your strength, but also because of your undying faith in God. You got through it and you're still standing. But for many other people, they wouldn't have been able to say the same. When certain people go through some of the hard things you have gone through, they would have been strung out on drugs. They would have been strung out on alcohol. Many of them would have done certain things to hurt themselves. Okay. And they wouldn't have been able to get themselves through these situations successfully without doing one of those things. I'm not saying you were 100% perfect as you got yourself through hard things. And no, I'm not just referring to money and hard times with money, guys. This could be you had to get yourself through a heartbreak. Okay, somebody broke your heart, or you could have been backstabbed in the back by a really close friend or something like that. Things you had to get through that were hard things to find out, things that you had to accept and move on with your life from were very hard. And other people just wouldn't have handled it the way in which you did. You got through many hard things because of your strength and your faith in God. You get half the credit, God get half the credit. As a team, y'all work together and got yourself through certain things. See, other people say they believe in God until it's time to really have faith and believe in God. But you actually do anytime. It doesn't matter if it's a good time in life. It doesn't matter if it's a bad time in life and you have to get yourself through hard things. You believe across the board. You don't change your faith. You have undying faith in God. And this is how you got through things. This is how you are still standing. But for other people, they would have done something bad. They would have hurt themselves or they would have hurt someone else. Some other people would have went local. Okay, they would not only be in a psych ward, but they would literally be in a straitjacket while there. Okay, they would not be able to handle not even half of some of the things you have went through. The things you have conquered are the things that made you into the strong person you are today. You gained a lot from going through a lot of the bad, harsh things you may have went through. Yes, you gained strength, but you gained life experience. You gained wisdom. You are so wise right now. You were not this wise and brave and strong before going through a lot of these things. These are all things you gained while going through it. Sometimes it's hard for certain people to even believe you are as wise as you are, but that's because they don't know your whole story. They don't know everything you have been through and made it through successfully. They don't really know you like that. When people meet you and they just see that you know certain things and they just like, wow, this person is really well-rounded, well experienced out here. But that's because you had to go through a lot to get this type of wisdom that you have. Other people would have been completely broken had they gone through some of the things you have went through. Broken to the core, unrepairable. But you didn't handle it like that. You handled things differently. You handled things like a champ. God knew you would. That's why he chose you. He knows what you can handle. He knows what you can do. He knows what you are capable of. He has faith in you just like you have faith in him. But many other people would have been in a mental institution had they gone through some of this stuff. You can make it through anything with God. And that's exactly what you do. You conquer anything that cross paths with you that's trying to stop you or hurt you or whatever. You conquer it with God. When certain other little hiccups come along in life these days, it's almost like it's nothing to you because you have been through much worse than some of the stuff that may come up these days. And I'm not saying nothing traumatic will ever happen again, but you are more prepared because of what you went through. Yes, you have shed some tears. Yes, you may have had to heal from certain things. You could still currently be healing from certain things, but you are still handling yourself. You are handling these things in such a way that is still much better than a lot of other people would. They would have lost their minds. They would have completely lost it. At the end of the day, we're all human beings and you do have feelings. And at times when things were really, really bad and something hard that you had to get through, you may have initially had that kind of situation where you kind of almost did lose it. Almost. You were close, but you didn't because God kept you. And the way you carried yourself during these times is why another reason why God kept you. Other people, how they would have carried themselves, how they would have handled it. They would have wound up in a mental institution without the option to just check out and go home and be free because they would be stuck in there on suicide watch. This is why you should never be ashamed of the hurtful, difficult things you have been through because you got through it. You made it through. The difficult things you have encountered and many of the chapters of your story will change lives.